How are you doing?
Perfect.
Good morning, everybody.
Perfect.
I think we will switch the mic
Mic
off,
off,
right?
right?
Hello, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hello. Good morning. Let's wait for a couple more minutes so people start joining.
I think you have a very big screen. I see your head moving like this.
I have to see. I mean, the presentation, the letter. Sometimes, if you have it on the laptop, it's too small. So I just moved the presentation to the big screen. So
Perfect.
Perfect.
the big echo. Okay. It is from.
Maybe it was me. I will
I
mute
will
my
mute my
microphone.
microphone.
Yeah. I
Morning.
think now you will hear it better, huh? Is still echo? No. Okay, good. Okay, so let's start. I mean, I think people will start joining. Okay, just to remind you, we're gonna be recording today's webinar, so we can share it with those people that were not able to assist, and also to the people that assist in case that they want to review any of the information. Let me introduce myself. My name is Álvaro Mocholi. I'm responsible for international sales and also the general manager of Grecom Technologies. And then I'm going to be the person conducting today's webinar. Okay. Okay, so let's start. The first thing that I would like to do is to do a brief introduction of our company. Hold on. Yeah. Well, Grecom Technologies is a company that was founded in 2005. We are very specialized on developing real-time image analytics, and we are very specialized on thermal imaging and radiometric cameras. Okay, that is our biggest area of expertise. Although we're moving to some different areas recently, however, this is our big expertise area. Okay, right now we have over 30 different analytics developed up to date. Which later on I will show you the full portfolio of solutions that we can offer. We export to 64 countries. Our biggest areas of interest are Middle East, South America, North America, South Europe, Asia Pacific is becoming one of the most demanding markets recently. Okay, these are our biggest areas, and one of the key advantages the key advantages that our company has versus some other companies in the market. I mean, most of the companies that we compete with usually are big multinational companies that have been absorbing different companies like ours. The good thing about it is that we have our own R&D department, which is responsible for not just developing our own solutions, but also to customize the solutions according to the project requirements or to the project needs. Also, we have a department for integration, which is responsible for integrating all our solutions with existing security platforms, BMSs, alarm monitoring centers, MVRs, digital input and output models, access control platforms, and so on. Also, the price of our licenses includes the setup, configuration, and fine-tuning. So this is kind of like a turnkey solution. So the system integrator has not to worry about how to deploy or how to configure the solution because we're going to do all the job for them. And then also we have the after sales or the project maintenance that is responsible for attending any potential problems or difficulties that the solution might be experiencing. Okay. So here I'm going to give you a brief introduction or a big, very fast resume of all the different solutions that we can offer. So as you can see here, these are the different areas that we cover. So we have analytics for perimeter surveillance. Here we have solutions for thermal imaging cameras or for day and night cameras. Later on, I will explain you the ones that are more oriented into the energy or the power supply sector. Then also we have marine surveillance. So we have what we call it the Coast Guard, and then also we can have it working on fixed cameras or on PTC cameras. We have also our own VMS, which is the Engaro VMS, and then also we have a third-party VMS, which is Aware, and this is a VMS with artificial intelligence, which I will explain you later on. Also, we have a data loss prevention solution, okay, which is CASH or CUSH. Then we have facial recognition for access control, and then demographic analysis and so on. Then we have automation and safety, which is going to be one of the areas that we're going to be talking today. A lot of the solutions that we're going to be introducing to you are in this area, like, for example, the substation monitoring, the electric vehicle charger monitoring, the flame, well, all the emergency protective equipment monitor. Also, we have solutions for fire prevention and detection. We have the 10 threshold, which is for industrial scenarios, and Watchman, which is for wild forest fires. And then we have also retail analytics, which is our solution on Trace. Okay. So today's webinar, we're going to divide it in two areas. We're going to go on the safety or prevention area, okay? And then later on, we will go on into the security, okay? So the first thing that we're going to be talking about is the safety. Okay, the first solution that we would like to talk to you is about the substation monitoring. Okay, here, I mean, this is very highly demanded recently because most of the power supply companies, in order to do the preventive maintenance of all the substations, what they do is periodically they send personnel to monitor or to take measurements of all the critical components on the substation. But this is not cost effective because simply they send it maybe once every 2 weeks or once a week or once a month, depending. And then, but not always they are able to identify where the problem is happening. And until the next time that they come, suddenly the problem might show up and they might cause some major problems. So here, what we are proposing is kind of like a substation monitoring 24 hours, 7 days a week. And what do we do? First of all, what we do is with radiometric cameras, what we do is we monitor all the key components like bushing, surge arrestor, isolator, switch gear, circuit breakers, batteries, transformers. So here what we do is we are monitoring constantly the temperature of all these objects. Then we are comparing similar objects between each other. So on their same circumstances, we can figure out which one of these components is overheating versus some other ones. Okay. So in this way, what we can do is we can anticipate to a major failure. And as you know, in the substation, where there is a major failure, the cost of repairing is very high. So here, when you're monitoring, you can have kind of like a graphic of all the components which are similar, and then we can identify which one is overheating versus the other ones on the same frame time, under the same atmospheric conditions, and under the same performance conditions. Okay. Also, we have level monitoring. As you know, all the transformers that have, some of them go with gas, some of them goes with oil, some of them goes with they use gas oil. So here what we're doing is we're monitoring constantly the level of those deposits. So whenever it reaches to a specific minimum volume, that is when we refill it. Okay. Also, we have the access control solution. This is, I mean, it's very important to control when the employees or when the maintenance staff enters into the facility when they leave, so we can control the time that they spend and then how much time they take from one facility to the other. This solution, this is a very unique device, has like a database up to 20,000 people. This is biometric access control. Also has the anti-spoofing, so it has a 3D camera, so it will be able to identify the face. So if someone is trying to supplant the identity of the person with a picture or with an image or with a video, this device is going to be able to distinguish between a real and a non-real face. And also we can do is the protective equipment monitoring. So the people are wearing the helmet, the protective glasses, the gloves, the protective boots, and so on. And also it's very important the perimeter surveillance. So no one walks in, and also we use the perimeter surveillance to monitor any animals, small animals that get into the facility, and sometimes they might create a problem with the electric gear. Sorry. Okay. So the idea is to deploy all the systems in all the different substations, and all of them are connected to a control center where everything is being monitored. Okay, and then you just send the maintenance staff whenever it is required. So this is more cost effective. I mean, we did a case study in the United States with a company with 1,100 substations, which are currently deploying this solution. We do the figures, and they were spending on a year just on employees, traveling expenses, about 24 million euros just to do the preventive maintenance. That is excluding the cost of repairing the components that broke down or there was a failure. With investment with this solution, the return on investment is less than 2 years. Okay, in less than 2 years, you recover the investment that you do. Okay, so it's a cost-effective, and also is very proactive in a way that we can anticipate exactly when the problem is going to come up. Okay, the key benefits, as I say, with this is real-time temperature analysis and reports of key electrical components. Okay, similar component comparison to detect overheating under same performance and atmospheric conditions. This solution can work on fixed or PTC cameras, and also can run embedded into the Axis Q2901 or the new one, Q1961. And then also there is one good thing that is a key difference between other solutions. This is the radiation distance configuration. As you know, the energy dissipates with the space. So the farther the object is from the camera, the most difficult, or the temperature reading deviates. Okay. So based on the distance where the object is, what we do is we correct the temperature the gap, and then we are able to figure out exactly the temperature. Okay. Also, we have analysis offline. So whenever we are recording the images, we record it on the raw stream. So that means that you will be able to move the mouse through the image, and you will be able to figure out pixel by pixel the temperature of that specific point or pixel. And it's integrated with all the main VMSs, such as Milestone, Genetec, Avegino, Pelco, Axis, Hitachi, ABS, IRIS, Latitude, Desico, Dorlet, Scari, Cafesix, Goitebrook, and some more to come in. Okay. So this will be the solution, what we call it, to monitor the substations. Another solution that is very highly demanded recently is to monitor the electric vehicle charger monitoring. Okay, it's not especially for right now. There is a lot of cities that are moving their the buses from hybrid to electrical, or from gas oil to electrical. So on all the bus garages, what they do is they are deploying this kind of like a catenary system or PANTOF system that, I mean, the bus just parks, and then automatically the catenary brings down and charges the batteries. Okay, so what do we do here? Okay, here basically what we do is we monitor that the batteries are not overheating. Okay, also that the charger is not overheating. And then also what we do is we monitor the temperature at which the catenaries are working under the same weather or performance circumstances. So whenever there is a high demand, we can see that all of them are at the same temperature. And whenever we see that one of the catenaries overheats, over the rest of them, then we identify that this catenary shortly is going to have a problem. Okay. Then we have a solution which is called the temp threshold. This is a solution to detect fire. Okay. The good thing about this solution is that besides detecting hotspots or temp thresholds, temperature thresholds, basically what we do is we also analyze the behavior. So for instance, imagine that there is machinery moving around. We need to discriminate the machinery. Okay. So here what we do is, first of all, you set up the analytics on a specific temperature threshold that you want to detect. And then also you analyze the behavior. So for example, whenever there is something overheating, that hot spot is on a specific point, but it doesn't move around and increases the temperature either rapidly or slowly. Okay. Meanwhile, a machinery is moving around the field of view. Okay. So that is one behavior. And secondly, the temperature of the engine, the brakes, or the exhausting tube is usually constant. Okay, usually stays between on the 120 or 100. So that is what I say. What I analyze the behavior. I analyze that the object is moving around the field of view of the camera and the temperature is steady. If the hotspot matches that criteria, we detect it, but we don't trigger the alarm. Whenever we detect something that matches, for example, hotspot that increases the temperature very rapidly and increases the size but stays on a specific point, that is when we trigger the alarm of a fire. Okay. Okay, we deploy this kind of systems on biomass plants, dump, recycling, chemical plants, oil and gas, and then also on power supply plants, just whenever there is a fire. Okay. And here, this is a multiple detection profiles running simultaneously, critical real-time reporting and logging. So this you can work on real time. You can work offline. As we said before, works on fixed or PTC cameras, generates reports on these formats. Okay, heat emission distance configuration. So you can adjust here. The good thing about it is whenever we integrate a radiometric camera, most of the developers, what they do is they just get the stream of whatever the camera brings to them. Here, what we do is we integrate the camera in a way that we can control the sensor and we can control the shutter, we can control the image adjustment. Okay. So for example, imagine that we are looking on a specific point. Let me bring this image here. Imagine that we are searching for these specific areas. This is what we call it the region of interest, or ROI. Okay. So I say, okay, these are the specific areas that I want to monitor. So in case that there is any objects on the field of view of the camera that are much lower of the temperature of this object or much higher, what I do is I discriminate it and then I just adjust the image according to the region of interest. So this is going to help me to have a much better quality image, much better contrast. So it will be much easier for us to identify potential fires and so on. Okay, so here I'm going to show you a video. This is a biomass plant, okay? And this is on the fire detection with a PTC camera. So here is the fire we are monitoring, and then automatically whenever the behavior and the characteristics of the object that we detected matches with the criteria that we have set up the analytics for, that is when we trigger the alarm. Okay. Another solution that we have is the protective equipment monitoring. Okay, so here this is a solution that we use on the access control, just to confirm that all the people that enters into the facility, they are wearing helmets, protective glasses, protective boots, reflecting vest, and so on. Okay, so here we have multiple devices. This is for the access control. So this what we'll do is we'll monitor, besides doing the access control, we'll also monitor all the equipment that the employees are wearing. Okay, and here is to monitor the people meanwhile are inside the facilities, just to confirm that all of them are wearing the right equipment. Okay. So this will be all the different solutions that we have for the automation or safety area. Okay, now we're gonna move to the security. The thing that, I mean, the first solution that we would like to show is a VMS with artificial intelligence. It has been certified by the ISO 27001. This was the Red Dot winner 2021 as the smartest solution. Okay. What is the difference between a VMS with artificial intelligence, a VMS without artificial intelligence? A VMS without artificial intelligence, basically what it does, it records 24 hours, 7 days a week, and then also manages the database of all the events or alarms of all the analytics that are connected to that VMS, okay? Meanwhile, a VMS with artificial intelligence goes one step beyond. What it does is whenever it is recording, it is classifying the object. So for example, whenever it detects a vehicle, classifies as a vehicle or as a human. In case that is a vehicle, will record the license plate number, the color of the vehicle, the type of vehicle, and the model of the vehicle, okay? And then in case that there is a human, what it will do is will record the face of that person, so we will have the face recognition. Also, will record the type of clothing, the color of the clothing, okay, and the gender, okay? So all this is being recorded automatically, or the VMS is adding tags to the image, or is classifying the image automatically in a way that whenever you want to do a forensic search, instead of going through hours and hours of recording, basically what you do is you just need to enter whatever you're looking for, and then the VMS automatically is going to bring out all the images that match your search criteria. Okay. Also, the good thing about this VMS is not just the recording, also brings 4 different analytics included on the price. You have the perimeter surveillance, face recognition, license plate number, and noise analytics. All those 4 analytics are included on the license. So this is kind of like a bundle of the VMS. Okay, with other VMSs, you buy the VMS and then you have to buy the analytics separately. Here is all included. Okay. Also, with this VMS, you can have people counting, you can have heat maps, you can do people tracking, always as long as the people is on the field of view of all different cameras, you can track it down that person inside the facility, okay? And this is the architecture, how this solution works, okay? You can work with our own cameras. The key benefit of our own cameras is that the analytics and the recording is embedded into the camera, so you will not need a server, okay? As for the recording, you can have 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, or 120 days retention. And then all the 4 analytics are embedded into the camera. So whenever you use our own cameras, it's directly connected to the cloud, and then you can access on real time through our API, through any device that is connected to the network. In case that the facility already has the cameras deployed, we can also use this solution with third-party cameras. In this case, we will need what we call the cloud connector, which is a server where the analytics and also the recording is being stored. And then you can access directly to the server, or you can access through the cloud. Okay.
Search is a tool that allows us to search for specific events that may have occurred across one or multiple cameras. This allows us to search for things like the appearance of a person or vehicle,
to EvoWare.
A line cross event where a vehicle or person has crossed a specific virtual line that we've drawn, loitering events where a person or a vehicle may have been stationary for too long in one place, indicating something like an idling vehicle that may be outside of a loading dock or outside of an airport, or a person that may just be acting suspiciously in an area that they should not be. We can also alert on sound detection, and this leverages the onboard sound detection in our EvoWare cameras that can detect things like glass breaks, loud noises, smoke alarms, and many more audio models that are being added with each release. So for example, if we were to create a line cross search, what we can do is we can choose what kind of objects we want to search for. We can stick with any or go down to a specific person. This person can be specified based on gender or based on the attire that they're wearing in the top or the lower quadrant of their body, and you can combine both colors as well, looking for people in uniforms or based on a description that was given by a third party. We can also leverage an image. If someone has captured a cell phone image of this person or vehicle, we can upload that in order to do a search based on these detections. Then we can choose where we want to do this detection. So this detection can take place, for example, on a camera in a parking lot. It could also happen inside of a building. So if we were looking for people that may have been in front of a register, we can choose one or multiple cameras and then choose the line that we want these objects to be crossing in order to qualify for the detection. We can choose the direction of travel of this object. And in the case of something like a convenience store, if we're just looking for anyone that is walking out, as this person just did in this example, we can unclick the entering direction so that we're only looking for the direction of travel out the door. And then we can choose the time period that we're searching for. This can be anywhere from specific minutes down to a block of time that may be days or hours. And in our case, when we're just looking for the last 30 minutes worth of search, we're presented with all of the events that correspond to our search criteria. So in our case, we're looking for people that are exiting. And if I highlight over that video, we're going to see the people that are exiting. I can click into this video to see it in greater detail. This will allow me to see not only the event that occurred, but the object within our floor plan as that user exits this building. I can then click to act on that activity. But we can also see in our parking lot as a person was crossing that virtual line that we created. So this allows us to very quickly get to the events that matter to us and then act on them. These different video clips that we have captured here can then be exported. So we can take the relevant information by clicking the plus, and we can choose to share or save. So we can export this as an MP4. We can share this as a publicly accessible link. We can bookmark it so that these video clips do not get deleted by typical retention. And of course, we can also do similarity searches if we want to look for people that are similar to the objects that have been detected in these environments. Now, you're also presented with the ability to create a rule. We have a whole nother section dedicated to creating rules based off of searches as well as other parameters. I implore you to check that out.
Okay, now we're gonna move to the face recognition, which is for the access control. Okay, this is a solution that has been certified by the NIST. This is a solution which is one of the most accurate solutions right now on the market. We can guarantee 99.87% of accuracy on the access control without face mask and 98.6% of accuracy with face mask. Okay, we have our own API and then SDK in case that we want to integrate it with an existing VMS. It's compatible with all the operating systems, Windows, Mac, Linux, Android, and iOS. Okay, and then here is, I show you, this is the chart. All these dots right here are the different algorithms that were tested. Okay, on the upper right corner, you can see the solution. Okay, so it is one of the solutions with less processing requirements we need. Okay, so as you can see, we are, I will say, the top one, and then also one of the very fast detecting. Okay, in order to pass the NIST testing or certificate, you need to have a rate of false alarms or negative alarms of 0.0285. Okay, in our case, we achieved 0.00227. So we clearly exceeded whatever, the requirements. Okay, So this is the device that we suggest for the access control into the facilities, substations, and so on. Okay, this can support a 20,000 people database. Okay, this has, besides the device, also comes with a software or an API that what you can do is you can register the people and then you can grant access to the different areas that you have on your facilities. Okay, so you can also have this registration or this API on a mobile device. It's not necessary to have it on a workstation. It is compatible with the OSDP and WGAN platforms, so it's pretty much compatible with all the access control platforms in the market. Detects tailgating, so in case that someone is trying to get in right behind you, will be able to detect it. Can work indoors and outdoors, okay? And then also has the anti-spoofing. As we say before, this solution with the 3D camera will be able to distinguish between a real and a non-real face. And then as for the speed, I mean, we can detect around between 30 to 40 people per minute. So for the access control on facilities where there is a lot of employees, this will be one of very efficient and fast solution. Okay. Here I'm just gonna show you a video.
Introducing SaferScan, the first full-featured intelligent biometric access control edge solution
so as you can
priced
see, this
for
is the
broad-based
device.
applications.
Okay, put you here
SaferScan is fast and touchless
so
to
here you
expedite
have like
safe
a 3D
pedestrian
camera,
traffic.
infrared lighting,
And SaferScan works as well in outdoor locations as it does inside,
so
even in challenging lighting conditions. SaferScan's advanced algorithms and 3D liveness ensure accurate identification and authorized access, while unknown individuals will be rejected, and real-time alerts are automatically issued if tailgating is detected.
So that means that
Management reports capture every entry for audit and compliance reviews. A self-contained PoE solution, SaferScan is also fast and easy to install. Plus, SaferScan works with leading access control platforms. High-performance biometric access control made affordable.
I mean, it will turn into red.
Only with
this
SaferScan.
Is the API, which is very friendly use. The setup is very easy. You just need to one point connection. Okay. Now we're gonna move to the next solution, which is the perimeter surveillance. Okay, here we have two solutions, one for very large range, which is called the Sentinel, which will work with thermal imaging cameras. And then we have the perimeter lookout, which is for day and night cameras with a shorter range solution. Okay, so depends on what you're looking. If you're looking for a solution which is very accurate and you don't want to have false alarms, I would recommend to go with the perimeter lookout. If you want to, this is a very large perimeter, and you want to become cost effective, and you just want to detect everything that moves around or everything that comes into the perimeter, I would recommend you to go with the thermal imaging solution. Okay. The key benefit is that the perimeter lookout has artificial intelligence, so it will be able to discriminate objects. So it will be able to classify human and vehicles and discriminate animals, vegetation, light moves, camera movements, raindrops, insects on the lens, and so on. Okay. So the good thing about it is, I mean, in order to be able to classify the objects, we need to put a lot of pixels into the image. So that it has a counter effect. That means that if you put too many pixels, you cannot reach very far away. So this is the reason why we use this solution for short range detection. Meanwhile, with the Sentinel, which is the solution that we're using for the thermal imaging cameras, is very long range. We can detect with a 60mm camera, something like around 450 meters to 500 meters, depending on the camera model and brand. Okay, but the target size is so small that whenever you're detecting so far away, it's very difficult to be able to distinguish between a human, vehicle, or an animal. Okay, so sometimes once you pass the 250 meters, it is almost impossible to auto-classify the objects, and as in consequence, the rate of false alarms is higher than the perimeter lookout. So that is the key benefits of one solution, long range. The disadvantage is the long range, cost effective on civil works, computing infrastructure, fiber optic, poles, and so on. The disadvantage is that the rate of false alarms is higher than the perimeter lookout. The perimeter lookout, the key advantage is that the rate of false alarms is very low, it's very accurate, but the detection range is much shorter. I mean, we can go with day-night cameras between 90 to 100 meters. If you go with thermal imaging cameras, the maximum detection distance will be something like around 200 meters. So here I'm gonna show you just a video on perimeter lookout, so you will be able to. So here classifies the person, but it's not classifying the animal. Here I'm gonna show you, this is the video for the thermal imaging cameras, the detection, the distances are much far away. Okay, but still, I mean, for example, you see on the center image, the camera is very shaky, and it still does not generate false alarms by the movement. And then on the upper one and on the right ones, the contrast is very low and it still can detect it. Okay. Okay, now I'm gonna show you the last solution. This is the Coast Guard. This is the marine surveillance. This is a solution that we use for the oil parks on the sea or on the ocean, just to detect small boats approaching, or in case that there isn't a boat that is on the way to crash or to hit one of the infrastructures. Okay. So this is a very large detection range, very 2 pixels minimum target size, low false alarm rate between 2 to 5%. For this solution, we always use thermal imaging cameras just to prevent from false alarms from the waves and sun reflections. Can work with fixed or PTC cameras, has multiple detection rules, can position the alarms on a UTM or GPS coordinates, so you can also integrate it with the radar. So under one map, you can visualize and you can monitor thermal imaging cameras and the radars, and it is also integrated with all the main VMSs. Okay. Here I'm going to show you a video on how this solution works. This is the auto tracking also. Engaro is our company too, so this is one of our companies. I'm gonna move it forward to here. Hold on. So here, as you can see, we are detecting the boats. There is no false alarms by the waves. Okay, although here is the sea is very calm. And this is how the auto tracking solution works. So what we do is whenever we detect, we figure out the coordinates. We take those coordinates, send it to the PTC camera, and then we address or we point the PTC camera to those specific coordinates. And then depending on how far away the object is from the camera, we give more zoom or less zoom. And as you can see, always the objects are on the center of the image. So it's much easier for the operator to identify and to track it down. I think here, I don't know if there is a question. Sami, I think you have a question. I guess no. Okay, we're going to move on. Okay, so this will be all the different solutions that we can offer. Here are some success cases. For example, on the defense and law enforcement, we have deployed the VMS and the also the artificial data loss prevention on the FBI, the access control on the NATO headquarters in Brussels. This is Rota military base, which is a US and Spanish military base on south of Spain. We do all the perimeter surveillance. We are also in charge of all the Spanish Army, Spanish Air Force, and also the Army. We do all the perimeter surveillance for all the facilities. On the oil and gas, we have been granted as the solution embedded into access cameras for all their facilities. So whenever it goes access cameras on the facilities with the embedded solution goes with our solution. With Cepsa, which is the second largest oil company here in Spain, we do all the perimeter surveillance. With Repsol, we do some automation and safety. Endesa, which is a power supply company here in Spain, we do perimeter surveillance for most of the facilities. Basra, which is a gas company which belongs to Shell, operating by Shell, which is in Iraq. We do also automation and safety solutions for them. Critical infrastructures, Madrid International Airport, Trillo nuclear plant, which is here in Spain, Al Wahba Palace, which is the palace of the Emir of Qatar in Doha, Valencia Port, which is the largest port on the Mediterranean by container traffic, telecommunications, AT&T, Facebook, Hitachi, Etisalat on the Emirates. So these are some success cases. We have distribution agreements with Anixter ADI, Psychotronic, I don't know, Ingram Micro, Elco, Incomex, and then we work with all the main installers around the world. Okay, so this will be all the different solutions that we can offer for the power supply industry. Here are my contact details, just in case that you need to contact me or you need to send me an email. In case that you want to request a demo, we have two types of demo. We have the online demo, or we can do a POC. Okay, so you can either send me an email or you can request it through our website. Very important that the price of our licenses includes the setup, configuration, and fine-tuning. So this is a turnkey solution. The system integrator, the only thing that has to be worried about is to grant us access to the servers or to the cameras wherever we have to deploy the system. Okay, we do the rest of the work remotely, of course. And in case that is a critical infrastructure and then we need to send stuff, I mean, it's quoted separately. And then in case that you have any questions, you can activate your microphone or you can use your chat. I'll be very happy to respond to as many questions as you guys have. And then as for the license, you can have a perpetual license, so you buy it and you own it, or you can go on subscription model. So it depends on the business model that you want to do. Okay, Dejan, go ahead.
So looking at the solution to detect boats in distance, it triggered just my mind because we have a use case, or basically we're looking for solution to detect ships coming nearby the ship farm. So the question is the detection distance, because what happens during the summer, there is a lot of ship traffic going on, and a lot of time these fish farms or the cages are not visible. So the point is to detect them at the time before they hit the cages. So I was interested to know more about it. So maybe I might.
I mean, just to give you an idea, for example, our 40 feet boat, or let's call it a 20 feet boat, you will be able to detect it 1.5 miles away from the fish farm. So there's enough time to maneuver and to avoid the crash. And then as in case that you also want to detect, for example, I mean, in most of the fish farms, sometimes what they do is they go fishing nearby because there is a lot of fishes with the food that they put on the fish farms. There is a lot of fishes around, so there's a lot of people that go fishing very nearby. So you can also detect boats that are very close distance. And then people swimming, you can also detect it, but since when the people is swimming, the only thing that you see is the head, the maximum distance might be something like between 50 to 70 meters.
So the question is then about the moving platforms where the camera would be installed. That's also something which cause issues.
You need to deploy. You need to put what we call it the I don't know the name in English, which is it is kind of like a movement corrector. Okay, so in a way that the camera is always steady. Okay, so
it needs a gyroscope.
Yeah, gyroscope, correct. Okay. So we put it, you need to put the PTC on top of the PTC. You need you put the gyroscope and the PTC head in top of it. So what it does, it absorbs the movement of the platforms or the fish farm.
Oh, cool. Thanks.
Okay. Any questions regarding, for example, substation monitoring? Which is right now is let's call it hot. It's very highly demanded.
May I ask? Your aware cloud solution.
Yes.
Can we see it as a software as a service?
Yeah, correct. I mean, here, I mean, what we do is, I mean, what you can do is, you can take the cameras. I mean, you move it from one place to the other, and then just rent or just like use it. Or you can either, what you can do is you can allocate or you can aim the analytics towards some specific cameras. So whenever you buy the licenses, they are not linked to a specific camera, so you can move it to different cameras. So for instance, imagine that you buy the licenses and then you have one facility, and then you are monitoring that facility, and after 2 months you want to move the same solution to a different facility, you can do it.
Thank you.
Thank you. More questions here? Okay, well, if there is no more questions, here you have my contact details. On the upcoming days, we will be sending you a copy of the presentation and then also a link to the video, which was recorded today on today's webinar. Okay, and then after that, I mean, in case that you want to reach us, you want to test any of the solutions, you want to go more in deep of any of the solutions, please feel free to contact us. Here you have my contact details, my mobile telephone number, and also my email address. So more than happy to attend you. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for attending to today's webinar, and then looking forward to seeing you very soon. Okay. Okay.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.